Bitcoin right there breaking all-time high in terms of market cap, $1.3 trillion market cap for Bitcoin. The data behind it, though, makes this Bitcoin move even more intriguing. I want to talk about what Bitcoin is doing, the supply shock that continues to happen, and I do also want to zoom in on the charts on the daily and just kind of talk about the price action. So please hit the subscribe, hit the like. Let's jump into the video. Everybody, first off, if you're out there in the crypto space, I hope you're enjoying this. I really hope you're enjoying this. It wasn't that long ago we were in the depths of the bear market, and here we are right now, Bitcoin breaking all-time high in market cap. Before we dive into all of these charts, I do want to go over a couple of things. I saw this post on Twitter or X, Will Clemente. Bitcoin ETF inflows have absolutely blown gold out of the water. Not even close, utterly dwarfed, decimated. Thanks for playing, non-fixed supply boomer rock enjoyers. This is just very simple data. The ETF inflows they're mind-blowing. I mean, this is something that's never happened with Bitcoin. And for me, as I do track charts, and especially the way I do my technical analysis, I use a lot of historical context. There are so many consistencies throughout all of these cycles. And now we have this brand new thing, this cycle around, that I think plays into the Bitcoin supply shock that we do get anyway. Every halving, with the diminishing supply of Bitcoin coming into circulation, it happens, but this is new, what's happening here. And so I read this post also that kind of ties into this. IBIT has almost reached its average daily volume in the first hour of trading. This is insane. In my opinion, demand will keep rising until Bitcoin ETFs have more daily volume than SPY. And just check this out. This was obviously today, Monday to start the week. And lastly, this kind of sums up the supply shock thought. I saw this in an article. The flows and volumes to BlackRock's product reflect their commitment to this asset class. I like to believe they realize it's a new portion of an investment portfolio and are there to provide the access investors may want. So for me, this encapsulates the thought that this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning, what's happening and what's taking place right now. And here we are, Bitcoin breaking all-time high in market cap. So I just want to point that out. Now, hidden behind this data, hidden behind this move that is currently taking place, and this is a weekly chart, by the way, this move, check this out. I went back, I was like, you know what? Last cycle, because this happened before, right? We had an all-time high, 2017. Here's all-time high market cap. Last cycle, when we were entering the bull market, Bitcoin was breaking the all-time high market cap, right? When was that, right? And you can kind of see it right here. And this was November 2020. And yet again, everybody, just another different angle on, you guessed it. Many of you probably guessed it, the bull market doors. So the bull market of 2017 high to the bear market low, there are the bull market doors. It's a lower high Fibonacci. This is one of my favorite indicators. Many of you are probably sick of me talking about it. But look at this. Bitcoin breaking those bull market doors in October 2020. Well, we just broke the bull market doors of 2024 of this cycle. And it is of no surprise almost that Bitcoin breaking all-time high market cap in a very similar manner that it did last cycle. So from a market cap look, you can see in terms of Bitcoin, how much higher potentially is in play. You can see what Bitcoin did next on this weekly chart, right? So many months still left potentially of this bull market. All the while, we have this supply shock happening. We have the Bitcoin ETFs just getting started, institutions just getting started. And this is something that's never happened for Bitcoin. Going over here to the monthly chart, I just want to point something out to you, and then we're going to dive in kind of to the zoomed in, to the price volatility that might be taking place. So we talk a lot about the bull market doors, right, being broken. I just wanted to give another perspective in terms of where we are in this cycle. And one thing I noticed when kind of diving into all of the data, and I think this is just for me, this is important for me as I try to understand how long. I did a video last night talking about how long the bull market will last. As I continue to try and understand that, or try and estimate or anticipate different scenarios, this is a piece of data I think is important. Notice when Bitcoin broke this lower high Fibonacci bull market door area back in 2013, Bitcoin went on to see like 4,600% gains, right? And then And that's from that bull market door break, that bull market door area, 4,600% gains. And then the next cycle, when it broke those doors in 2017, it went on to see around 1,800% gains. And then the next cycle, which is the most previous cycle, we went on to see from breaking the bull market door area, 306% gains or so. So you see this diminishing return on Bitcoin, right? Every cycle. And we're painting that picture from the bull market doors being broken. Now, if we go to this cycle, if we take really the average or the diminishing pattern, whatever you want to call it, and we apply it to this cycle, that is to say, if Bitcoin kind of takes the average of those previous cycle returns, we'd see 85% this cycle around from the bull market door being broken. That sounds very underwhelming, especially to a lot of people getting into crypto right now that are like, man, people in crypto see a lot of gains. Well, for Bitcoin, from where it was like last week, this is a monthly chart, but this was basically last week or so, only 85% gains. Now, that's if historical data repeats, right? That's what it looks like. And for me, that's always a starting point. And then we can start considering other things. In this case, I think a big thing to consider would be the amount of demand that might actually come into markets this cycle. I could see Bitcoin very, very easily outperforming this. Right here is just above $100,000. Bitcoin's already at 66,000. I could see Bitcoin very easily outperforming that. So I think this might be a first cycle potentially where Bitcoin actually breaks away from this diminishing supply, or at least the average of the amount that it diminishes, right? So Bitcoin could make a power move this cycle for sure, and I think altcoins as well. But now as we start digging into the charts, I do want to start talking about the kind of shorter term price volatility. In terms of upside, the RSI, just to paint a quick picture, on the monthly, this paints the picture of how much upside is in play. Here we are in this bull market so far. Check out previous bull markets on the monthly RSI, what Bitcoin did. There's a lot of upside. Going into the short term, though, this is where the volatility will come into play. And I think as we sit here and we watch charts like we do, many of you do, just like me, it's just a good idea to zoom in and actually understand, you know what? Historically, Bitcoin is incredibly volatile. Crypto is incredibly volatile. If we're looking at Bitcoin, even just back here in January, 21% dip in a matter of days, very quick, right? So that's a big dip for Bitcoin. And then we just start zooming out on the daily and just going back, whether it's in the bear market or even in the last bull market. Here's the last bull market when Bitcoin broke the bull market doors. We had a dip revisiting those doors, 16%. And then in the middle of the bull market, we had a huge dip, multi-week dip, almost 30%. There's, I think, going to be a lot of volatility right now in the space. So as Bitcoin continues to approach its all-time high, I posted earlier, it could be minutes away from all-time high. You see that red line? That is Bitcoin all-time high. So we're 3 to 4% away from all-time high. That's a move that could happen in minutes. It could happen today. As I do this video, I guess it's obviously a clear target. It's a clear resistance area. If Bitcoin gets there, what happens in the current daily candle? That's something I'll be watching for. Notice the $70,000 target just above that area for Bitcoin. That's a pretty big target for Bitcoin, meaning it's a macro rising wedge that we've been tracking. Bitcoin broke out of in November 2023. Bitcoin might be getting ready to finally hit that $70,000 target. And then if that's the case, is there resistance there? Look at that very small window, $70,000 to $69,000 of resistance for Bitcoin on the short term. If Bitcoin makes its way up to that area, is there going to be resistance? Is there going to be a shock of volatility where we're coming back down for Bitcoin? As Bitcoin gets continued separation from the Fibonacci bull market doors here in yellow that you see, I will continuously be monitoring the top of that channel for support. There's a case Bitcoin revisits that area. Currently, it's around 13% to the downside. If Bitcoin hits $70,000 target and then decides it wants to retrace, there's an 18% move to the downside. Do we see support at that area? And then besides just the top of that channel, I'll watch the 20-day, as we've talked about before, the 20-day moving average right around 55,000 for Bitcoin. I will continuously watch those areas as Bitcoin becomes extended from the moving average area. And that's just me. I like to anticipate it. Do I want to see Bitcoin, the supply shock, it just is never ending and Bitcoin just keeps going up and up and up and up? Absolutely, I do. But it's Bitcoin. And even with Bitcoin spot ETFs in play, and even with the supply shock and how bullish crypto seems right now, I'd very much anticipate dips. And so with that would come volatility across all of crypto markets. And that's something that I'm just keeping an eye on. But let's see how Bitcoin plays out today, everybody. Bitcoin just looking strong. Crypto looking strong in general. Breaking all-time high in terms of market cap is a big deal. Historic moment today. Once again, it feels like we're breaking historic milestones every day for Bitcoin. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, everybody. If you're not a subscriber, please smash the subscribe, turn notifications on as we cover these crypto cycles, altcoins, Bitcoin, all the crypto news happening, and hit the like if you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next video, everybody. God bless.